Let me quickly show you the most common mistake people make when they're generating equal stress field cones. I want to show it to you here in a video so that eventually when it happens to you, you don't have a heart attack and think that you have no idea what you're doing. So I just generated my equal stress field cone. And let me show you quickly how I did that again. I went in the model environment, I went to generate, membrane, then I selected cone, and then here are all the defaults that are set. But what I did, I went ahead and I said, I don't need radio cables. I don't want radio cables in this model. So I unchecked that box, and then I went ahead and I generated my cone. And that's what you see here. I've got perimeter cables, I've got my nice membrane, but I don't have any radio cables running to my corners. So I'm going to click finish because I've already generated this. So now let's go in, make sure I have all of my properties set. So I go back into setup, my default properties, all my information is here. I'll go ahead and assign my property sets, assign my pre-stress, and click OK. So now we're ready to shape. So we now go to the shaping environment, cables and membrane, click continue. I've got my 50 iterations. I'll leave everything here set as the default. Let's click go. And then, oh my God, what happened? This has just been sucked up. This looks ridiculous. What's going on? Click finish. This is when I cross my fingers and I hope very much that I can hit undo. Okay, it's gone back to good. I'm happy. Breathe a sigh of relief. Very simple. The only thing that happened here, we go back to the model environment, was the fact that I don't have radio cables here. And it's as simple as that, because on an equal stress field cone, you have to have radio cables to support all of that force. So what's probably easiest to do is just go ahead and delete this and build a new cone very quickly and easily. Or if you don't want to do that, let's just go ahead and trace some cables in here and then go ahead and reshape this. I'm going to put this in a better view so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, that's better. Do a zoom extent. Now, I'm going to use the trace feature, trace cables, and let me quickly trace cables out from all of my corners up to my bail ring. So to do that, all I need to do is select the first node and the last node, and when I do, NDN picks up the most straight line path between those two nodes. So it went ahead and it laid down a string of cable elements for me, broken into the appropriate amount of segments to match my membrane. So let me do this real quickly across my entire structure. Okay, that's 3 of the 4 sides. And let's grab the last one here. Okay. Right click, let's put us in an ISO view, zoom extent. Okay, now I have my radio cables. Now since I just added those, let's go back to setup and let's assign our property sets and pre-stresses to make sure we have everything assigned to these radio cables. Okay, good, I do. That looks good. Now, if we go back into shape, it should work properly. Cables and membrane, continue, 50 iterations. Go. Much better. It's looking good. All right, I've hit 50 iterations. It's not quite converged, but it looks like it's close. Hit go. And perfect. We've converged at 25 additional iterations. Click finish. All right, that looks nice. So when you go to do an equal stress field cone and it sucks up to nothing, don't freak out. That just means you probably don't have radio cables because you may have unchecked that box. Make sure that box is always checked to get those radio cables, and it will save you a heart attack down the line. And remember, if you know you want a cone without radio cables, you simply need to create that cone using the force density method, and that we talk about in other videos.